It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
All right, guys, welcome to the Drive-In Podcast. I'm LaMonte.
And I'm Alex.
And we watch bad movies.
So you don't have to.
Well, listen, it's Black History Month, so we started off strong with our Coolie High episode, and we're going to end it strong with Juice. I feel like these two movies, they kind of go hand in hand. What to do, we had to bring back Uncle Neely. Welcome back in the building. Welcome back, sir.
Man, glad to be here. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted the Piggly Wiggly hat. Didn't get Piggly Wiggly. Got dissed. I got dissed in the green room, and then no Piggly Wiggly hat. We're gonna work through
it. We trying here. We trying. Come on.
At least I got Skeletor, man. One of the best villains in comic book history. So
he's up there. He's up there. Solid. Well, he's solid. Cool. Well, we're talking about a 1992 movie, Ernest Dickinson's Juice. It's a coming-of-age film, guys growing up in Harlem. I don't know. I feel like, to me, it kind of booked in Coolie High because of the connection to the city, to a particular city, the way the music is a big part of the movie, the way you have the coming-of-age story with the friends. Now, this goes a little off because, like, Pot goes on, turns into a whole serial killer. But I think the movie itself is one of the ones when you say you gotta, as an African American, you gotta see this movie. This is one of the ones you gotta see. So, guys, when you first came to Juice, we're gonna let you start first, Neely. What did you think when you first came to Juice?
Man, let me go here. It's which came first, the chicken or the egg? Because I don't know if the term juice created the movie or if the movie created the term juice. But I do know after the movie, juice was forever part of our lexicon. And you either had it or you didn't. You either wanted it or you didn't. And much due respect to Coolie High, who we visited on, early for Black History Month, it was an iconic film later on down the road when it really got its, prestige and mark as far as coming of age in Black America. But Juice was a hit at the theater, VHS, DVD, bootleg, you name it, like it impacted you. And when I look at the two films and juxtapose them, it's amazing how Coolie High was iconic for fun-loving, running around, chasing girls, and then tragedy struck. And then Juice, on the other hand, it really wasn't, that kind of, it was a fun group, don't get me wrong, but it just morphed into the most important thing for a young Black man is his respect. Like, forget his craft, forget being friends. Like, if you don't have juice, if you don't have respect, you don't have nothing. And you really saw like a shift in that era when you talk about the soundtrack, even in music and the way people carry themselves. So again, it's that question, was the movie imitating us or did we begin to imitate the movie?
Oh, that's fair. What about you, Alex? What do you think of Juice? When it first came out?
Just dropping 2 pennies on what Neely just dropped on us. It's the same thing. It's like the lines are so blurred between the two as far as art imitating life and life imitating art. Because a lot of us, when we saw that film, we wasn't doing half of the stuff that these kids were doing in Harlem. And like you said, Lamont, it's a love letter to Harlem. It's a love letter to hip hop. It's a love letter to the craft of being a DJ. But at the end of the day, it's like we started taking on these characteristics of these characters in these movies, like the Bishops. And I mean, Q was cool. Everybody had those because Q was like Coach Chief. He had plans coming out later. He was going to be a DJ. Coach Chief was going to be this great basketball person. So we had those, but it was just it's that whole Bishop character. Like they morphed him into this monster. He was the one that was getting bullied, but then he morphed into this monster that made everybody afraid of him. And in that sense, to look at that as an honorable thing, like you got the juice because people are afraid of you, is kind of crazy. It wasn't about how cool you was, because if you just want to put it as far as juice was concerned, Q was the one. Like he would go into the record store. He had the girl with the gold teeth drooling at him. He had the girlfriend who had her own spot. She was a nurse. Had the
Well, wait. She was a she was a sexual predator, is what she was.
Oh no, yeah.
wait,
No,
wait. Listen,
yo, that's
we're
what
gonna
she
get
was.
it. We're gonna delve into it. We're
I'm
gonna
just
delve
saying
into it.
she should be on the
But
list somewhere. She should be on the list somewhere. I'm just saying.
I, but look,
Okay.
they get away. Those monsters get away. But anyway, he had the girlfriend with her own place. So for me, that person was Q. He was the one that had the juice. But in the concrete jungle, as they call it, it was the guy who had everybody afraid, and that was Bishop. Bishop became that guy, and he didn't care who took the fall for it, from Steel to Q to Raheem to Rodaman. He wanted everybody gone, and he be the king of the hill. So after that film, it was a lot of people being self-proclaimed bullies and starting fights. Because I remember that in high school, like they wanted to be Pac. And then the scary part is being older men from that era in that generation. You saw Pac kind of morph into that Bishop character. Like he literally was that Bishop character. He wasn't the digital underground guy no more. He was Tupac Tupacalypse,
Mm.
literally.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
it's just that film. When we talk about pivots, that film is a pivot film for our
Yeah,
culture.
I think it's a touchstone. It's a turning point. I remember seeing it. And I'm like, this dude right here, he's gonna be a movie star. When I saw it, I was
Hmm.
like, put your all your money in Pac right now. He's the man. He was doing like his album. He was working on his album while this movie was going on, and it's like you're right. He kind of morphs into that character when you see him in the down the line and other things. But his performance in this was just so strong. Like I feel like if this performance was right now, he'd have been Oscar nominated because you have guys who remember Viola Davis in Doubt. She was only in it for a little second, but she won the Oscar for supporting. I feel like if Pac does this now, he gets a supporting Oscar nod. And I went through. All right, before we get into, I went through the list. Hold on, of 1993 when when if he would have been up for the Academy Award, if this movie would have went in. Now, the supporting role, like 93 was a crazy year because you had Unforgiven, you had Malcolm X, you had The Crying Game, A Few Good Men. Like that was a crazy year for the Oscars. But for supporting actor, they had Gene Hackman, uh, Jane Davison, Jack Nicholson for A Few Good Men, Al Pacino
Mhm.
for Glengarry Glen Ross, and David Palmer for Mr. Saturday Night. I feel like Pac could take one of, David Palmer, Mr. Saturday Night, fine movie. I would have thrown Pac up in there. Like
Mhm.
he was just so charismatic and was just so great. And no, in that scene when he's like they're in the living room and Steele is fixing them breakfast. And that speech he's talking about, you got to get the wind beneath your wings, partner. Like that just kind of rang out. So I feel like this was like Ernest Dickerson. He's done a few movies. He was Spike Lee's cinematographer, but for him to pull this out of Harlem, like it felt really lived in. And even though from Mississippi, nowhere near Harlem, it still resonated because it felt so true to me.
Mhm.
So what about you?
Yeah.
You guys, how did it feel? Like coming from, I know all of us are from the South, nowhere near Harlem, but it felt like it rang true because it was so real.
Well, it did. I want to go on this hip hop lane for a second, if I may, though, brothers, real quickly. Fasten your seatbelts, because I'm going to take you on one. When you talk about that blurred line between art and life, between which one is imitating the other, God makes no mistakes. Heath Ledger is still alive if he doesn't play that role of the Joker. God makes no mistakes. Tupac is still alive if he doesn't play Bishop.
Mhm.
Digital Underground Tupac was making decisions in life that post Juice Tupac wasn't making. And a lot of people, rightly so, Lamont, want to see Tupac get that Oscar nod for Juice because he truly was acting.
Yeah.
But the attention that came from acting, he morphed it into his real life. Because his raps were poetry. You know, this was a dude writing poetry in high school. He wasn't writing raps. This is a dude dancing and acting in high school. And after that Bishop character, he became Bishop because that's what the world said they wanted to see, because that's what the world believed he was. Because everybody, the critics on one hand didn't want to give him any attention for his role in this movie. Oh, he wasn't acting, he was just being himself. That's how great of a damn actor he was. He made you believe, just like you forget how Malcolm X looked, and you in your mind, you begin to think that Denzel is Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's how well he played the character. Like, it changed your viewpoint of the person. That's how deep Tupac got into that role, and I don't think he ever got out of it.
Mm.
That's fair. Me Against the World, Thug Life, all that. Yeah. That's Bishop. That's Bishop. Yeah.
And
that's
you know,
Bishop.
when you mirror it to your crew growing up, I think Bishop represents the extreme. Most people don't go on and get them that many bodies on them. Most people don't go on and get any bodies at all. But I also do think when you have a group of 4 or 5 brothers growing up, I don't care if you've grown up in Greenwood or Jackson or Harlem, somebody in the group does become Bishop. Somebody in the group, it's not that they necessarily become Bishop. The other 3 or 4 people outgrow them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bishop was very comfortable being not even the king of Harlem. He just wanted to be the king of that block that fed that high school. Like, he wasn't even focused on the juice of all of Harlem, let alone the juice of all of NYC, let alone the juice of America, the world. He had a very narrow viewpoint. He couldn't see past where his feet were. When everybody else in the clique, they had bigger aspirations at some point. Even if it was just nailing the older chick, that's a bigger aspiration than what he had. And we all have that guy in our group. They're not a bad person. Again, I'm not saying they go off and kill 4 or 5 people, but they stuck where they are.
Well, I think
Bishop represented.
that's fair, but I think Bishop, if we go back to the beginning of the movie, all the other guys had people that really cared about him in their lives. Like, remember, like Bishop, he had to wake himself up. Like, he gave his pops was in a bad place. You know, like everybody else had family members that really like poured into them, and Bishop was kind of doing it on his own. So, I mean, you're right. There's a bishop. There's always a bishop in the crew. There's a steel. Like, everybody has their part to play. But when I saw it, I was like, I forgot how many bodies he got. Like, when you think about the movie, you're like, okay, he kills Raheem, but oh my goodness, he just starts after that. He's killing everybody. And it turns into a whole nother movie. But I don't know. I thought Pac was amazing in it. And he brought the humanity, because in the beginning, you kind of feel for Bishop. Like, he's getting beat up just walking to school.
Yeah.
Like, he's just trying to live his life. And Rodamans comes up and he's like, beats him up for no reason. And I don't know, I've been there to where, like, there's a bully in school and you have to either stand up or not, but you got to stand up and do something. And he did, and it just went the wrong way.
Yeah. So for me to see that transition, and I know Tupac's going to take a majority of the film. I hate we got one aspect of Tupac character's development, but Q's development in it for me was a whole nother thing. It was like Q kind of got rushed into adulthood way before these murders and stuff. Like, Q playing that game. He's up in there with the older gentleman, the ex-husband, and he thinks he's killing it. Like, we talk about seeing it from older eyes, from grown up eyes, and when we see Q, he thinks it's all a game, you know, because he could have easily got hemmed up by old boy in the house, because old boy was making fun of the fact that he's young and why you messing with this young boy and all that type of stuff. But it really doesn't hit home like, hey, bro, you out here playing games with life. When Raheem gets shot, it's like, that light comes on, and you can see it like from that repast scene, and he's watching like that when Bishop hugs Raheem's mom, and he's in the corner just looking at him like, dude, you killed her son, and now you in here.
Pac was
It's
so
like
good in that role. He was
this ain't
so
no
good.
game. This isn't a game, and we see this is going to be the power struggle between those two because of the ditching school scene at Steele's house, and you see that power struggle between Bishop and Q. But then you start seeing like, hey, this is grown from friends having petty little arguments to each other to this guy really wants to kill all of us.
Well, I think that's
So
when Pac. I think that's when Pac decided. Well, I'm sorry, that's when Bishop decided all these guys got to go because
mhm.
no, they weren't. They weren't going to. If they would have just went on their regular day and act like nothing was wrong, he probably would have let them live. It wouldn't have been no big deal. But at that point, he's like, listen, they gonna flip on me, so at some point, I gotta flip on them, and that's what he did. And
And this is the thing, as an adult, the one of the strongest, shortest sentences you could tell anybody in life, the power of no, period. And it takes a long time. I mean, I get it. In adolescence, it's hard to say, because you give in to your peers, but it's a lot of adults out here that just can't say no, period. Like Q could have easily said, no, I ain't doing that. Bump that. I got this competition. I'm killing it as far as being the DJ. Y'all can use this for an alibi, but I'm gonna be here. Simple as that. And it's a lot of people that it's a strong lesson in the film. It's like, bro, you don't have to do that. You can say no. And if they don't, and it rings out as far as your parents, because your parents tell you that all the time. You ain't got to do everything everybody else do. You could just say no to them and keep moving. And again, it's funny. It's almost like a punch to the Nancy Reagan slogan back in the 80s, just say no to drugs. But it is that simple. And I think
It,
with that film, it nails that home for us. It's like, bro, you could have easily said no. And this has been a whole different film.
it really does drive that point home, but there's a narrative about this movie that Nancy Reagan also missed that has become another part of our lexicon, and it's added in at the appropriate time. And sometimes we want to be politically correct and we just say TNS, but on the drive-in podcast, I'm gonna know what it is. This nigga scared.
Exactly.
that's
right
fair.
there.
That's fair. That's
Man,
fair.
if you talk about a pivot, that's what pivoted the movie, because I don't care where you grew up.
Hmm.
Mama jokes and somebody calling you a chicken,
Yeah,
those two
you.
things that just drew the line for black men in America. And when
Neely, let me
to
let me
pivot to this nigga scared, that's why he don't want to do it. It ain't about no DJ contest. It ain't about no this, that. He's scared.
look, and
That's why he
Neely,
can't say no.
let me add 2 pennies to that too. There was a third one. That's gay. Any and I know we're in a different time and you can't use that, but your mama jokes, this nigga scared, and that's gay, made a lot of people do a lot of stuff that they didn't want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely did. And still, sadly, still does.
Mm.
Yeah, that's fair. And
Go ahead, Lamont.
no, but I just feel like the robbery itself was dumb. Like, all right, you don't that's on your block, man. That's like going to your neighbor. That's your neighborhood bodega. Like you couldn't go 2-3 blocks away because they know who you are.
Yeah.
That's just that. To me, that was one of the dumbest things. Dumbest thing ever.
Spent planning it, and they plan to do it where they live.
Yeah, like that to me, like okay, you're not getting away with that. That's stupid, dumb. And then also in my neighborhood, if you had one dude, if there was one guy that you knew, like this dude's gonna be, this is gonna be Josan Darby, this gonna be the guy that's gonna get out of the hood. You protect him at all costs.
Yeah.
Like if we know Q's about to be this guy that blows up, and do this DJ thing. Hey, you're not gonna be involved in this. You go do the DJ thing. We gonna rob this place. We still gonna cut you in, but you gonna be our alibi.
Yeah.
We gonna go there in the front. We gonna see everybody. When the cops come get us, you the alibi, and that's how we gonna work it. We're not involving you in this because you can't get any blood on your hands. They didn't do that. But I also wanted to point out this movie influenced so many other movies. Because you think about the interrogation scene, that's Menace to Society.
Mhm.
That's straight out of Menace to Society. And like I didn't see it then, but when I look at it now, I'm like, that's Menace. Cool. The ending of Cooley High, Preach is running away and they do the freeze frame. They do the same thing when Q was walking away. You got the juice. They freeze frame his face. Like none of that is by mistake. I feel like this movie, it took from the movies before it, and it also influenced the movies that came after it.
You talk about movies that came after it. Here comes the Beatles Deep Conspiracy. Tupac, Bishop, elevator scene. I'm facing the opposite direction of everybody in the elevator scene. In this situation, Q has the high ground. What is this scene? This is the turning point of no going back. Neely, what the hell are you talking about? Obi-Wan told Anakin, you ain't gonna do this. I got the high ground.
That's fair.
You're not gonna attempt. There's no way you're gonna attempt this right here in this setting, and I got the high ground. I got these witnesses. You the only person facing the other way. You can't kill everybody in the elevator. Your gun couldn't even do that. I got the high ground. And what does Anakin do? He tries it. And after that, ain't no going back. Like, you're going to become Darth Vader now. Because not only have you been doing this stuff, before that moment, you have been doing this stuff and just we knew about it.
Not everybody.
The droids are recording this. Everybody sees this now.
Yes. Yeah, he came out. It was like, all right, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Yeah.
But he lives up to what the foreshadowing of that was, because he already had a self-destructive nature, and the thing that he was entertained by, he embodied it. Because Lamont, you probably got that information as far as the film they were watching at Steele's house during.
That was Cagney. Yeah, that was Cagney. I forget the name of it. Top of the World, Ma. Yeah, that was James Cagney. That was a James Cagney movie.
Like
the
original Scarface.
So it was like he got hyped on all that violence, and then like Q, and then that's another telltale sign. You watch how everybody is operating while the film is going on. The leader of the crew, Raheem, I have to put it in air quotation because Bishop was really the leader, if you want, because he always intimidated everybody to do whatever. But he was so weak by himself, he needed the crew. So we got Bishop and Raheem clamming up about this film, and Q is in his own space, listening to the music, getting ready for the DJ thing, and Steele is in his own space because he's cooking the filet mignon, 40-ounce eggs with the turkey meat. Like, we're going to that scene, like when they were ditching school at Steele's house. It's that whole Bishop is they see the news after they watch the film of Blizzard being, taken in or getting killed at the robbery. So and Q says that thing as far as Bishop gets in his face talking about if we were back there backing him up, he would have made it out of there. He said no, it would have been 5 dead niggas instead of 1. And it just goes to show leading forward. It's like, bro, you could have easily told them dudes, we just saw one of our friends die from robbing a place, and now y'all talking about sticking up the corner bodega that the guy know all of us. So it's that scene for me because it was just so many good lines that came out of that, from the argument, the whole "you ready to die, nigga." that stuff, and Pac was the star of that scene. Like, at the end of the day, Pac ruled that scene, even though Q had some strong lines in it. But Pac, as far as the emotion, as far as carrying the whole thing, he ruled that scene. So that is my monster scene as far as for the film because it really brings the message home for me with all of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I think that's one of the scenes that stand out for me. Like the whole movie is strong, but the one line that stands out to me, they had crazy cameos from all the hip hop, from Special Ed to Queen Latifah to EPMD, like just Orange Juice Jones, man. They got Orange Juice Jones like playing Orange Juice Jones, like crazy hip hop. But Samuel Jackson, when Q comes to Sam Jackson, and Q is like, "You know me since we were kids," and Sam goes, "I've known a lot of killers since they were kids." Like that stuck to me. Like that means this is an everyday thing. Like this is their life. Like you grow up, you either get out or you die. Like it just felt like, man, that felt really real. Like that was a bar to me. And then at the end of the movie, the way it it had an alternate ending. He wanted like Tupac to basically just let go and like he wasn't going to jail, so he's gonna kill himself basically. But the studio didn't like it. The studio wanted to be more like, it just happened naturally. Like Q couldn't hold on to him and he slipped, so he had to change the ending. So I thought it would have been more powerful if he would have went out on his own terms. If because Bishop would have done that. Bishop wasn't going to jail, like you guys said when he came out the closet, like out the elevator. At that point, he's the bad guy, and there ain't no turning back to that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it would have made sense for him to be like, I ain't going to jail, and and they said the studio wanted him to change it, so they changed it. And then if you remember, also in this movie, the poster, Pac had a gun, and the studio didn't like it, so they had to take the gun away because it said it was going to incite violence and whatnot. So this movie, like, it touched a lot of people in a lot of ways. I don't know. It just was, like I said, if you got to watch a Mount Rushmore of African American films or coming of age movies, this is right up there.
Yeah, and Alex has been pointing out a couple times that the movie they were watching, earlier in the day or earlier in the movie, one of those Scarface storylines, and I don't care if it's the Cagney Scarface or the one we came up on Pacino. One of the common things is like I'm going to have the juice or die. I'm not going to prison.
Yeah.
So it's going out in the blaze of glory. And it's like, look at me, I'm on top of the world. And even in the Scarface that we had, he had that statue in the house of the globe spinning, the world is mine.
Yeah.
And what's so ironic about it, how it fits into Juice to me is once again, here's some brothers on the block that have no idea that block ain't the world. And like you really don't have the world. And to want to rob the bodega, and you weren't sitting there planning on robbing it when the Federal Reserve does its deposits. Like how much was y'all really gonna get when if it worked and y'all divided up? How much are we really gonna get? So you got this plan that's idiotic that you're doing it on your block. It's idiotic in the reward you're gonna get for it, but the reward wasn't the money. The reward was the juice to them, or at least the bishop. He wanted to be seen as the dude who would do that on this block and don't care. Like it was, so it wasn't about power in that context. It was just power of the perception of who you think you are. And to that vein, that's why I think one of the telling scenes was out of everybody witnessing what's been going on the past few days, out of everybody that witnessed what happened in the elevator at that little house party, for somebody to still say, hey Q, you got the juice now, just lets you know how misplaced priorities was in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I hated that. I hated that line. Because to me, that screamed, this is a movie. Because in real life, if that happens, I don't think nobody's saying that. I think that's just understood and he's just walking in. I don't think it's like, hey, man, you got the juice. That's like, here's the message. He's the juice. Like, you don't need that because it's like it's in the moment you feel it. Like he's walking. I don't need that guy to tell me that I got the juice when we already know, like he had the juice from the beginning. Like he didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
He just realized it. Like he stood up. Like he said no. He stood up for himself. What Steel couldn't do, that's what Q did. Like I don't know. I just thought it. That I hated that line. That line ruined it for me.
Yeah, because Juice's vision, man, Juice's self-control, Juice's long-term thinking, Juice's being able to say no, Alex, Juice's being able to walk away.
Yeah.
But they had this short-sighted definition of it in the theme of the movie that really, to me, and I feel you, Lamont, it seemed more like a movie because nobody where we grew up was going to say that.
No, I'm not saying that.
But I think what it did for somebody to say it, cinematically, it set the stage for the character to look at the person who said it the way they did.
Okay.
Like, come on, dog.
All right. Now, before we get to categories, I want to ask you guys. We touched on this before. Like for En Vogue, it was Dawn for me. I'm sorry for En Vogue, it was always Dawn. Cindy, but the nurse. Come on now. That's a child predator is what that is. Q's 17 years old in high school. She's a whole nurse. That means that she graduated from college. She went to nursing school. So she's probably about 24, 25. That can't be right.
You know,
somebody. So hell, come on. Because if it's reversed,
it ain't right. But I would say this, then and even now, it's a badge of honor when it's reversed. Like, no one looks at the 25-year-old chick and the 16-year-old dude in the criminal sense, because when he go back to hood and tell everybody, hey man, you know I got with that girl went to Jack State, ain't nobody finna boo it.
Right.
Nah.
True that. And that's in the culture. But then they show you both. Now this is what's masterful about this film. They showed you both elements of that. What we're talking about. As it is a badge of honor for Q to get an older lady. Samuel Jackson was hitting on young girls throughout the whole film.
He a whole predator, man.
And everybody, look, Samuel Jackson and Don's character are the same person. But nobody won't say that because it's taboo for young guys. It's not even taboo anymore because nowadays the whole cougar thing is worn as a badge of honor. Whereas sugar daddies are have been and always will be the dirty old man type of thing. And with this film, they addressed that, and it was masterfully done. They showed a double standard, and nobody would never just say, "Oh, that ain't." But here we're looking at it like, yeah, Samuel Jackson, Dawn, same person.
No, that's Cindy. Cindy, Dawn's my favorite.
Oh, Cindy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Dawn is the other girl in En Vogue.
Yeah, that's the best.
But yeah, Cindy. I don't know her character's name in this, but
we don't need to know Cindy.
But they're the same. They're the same character. They're the same person, or as Lamont affectionately calls them, predators.
They're predators. Yeah, respectfully. All right, let's get in our categories, guys. See who won, who lost for this movie. Neely, who's your MVP for Juice?
Got no choice, man. Not making it acting and Oscar nominees, but I'm just talking about people who stick to their purpose and the character that you identify with. I got no choice, man, but to go with Omar Epps, who played Q. To focus on your talent, focus on your craft, to be able to make the decisions he was making in a group setting, because peer pressure is a mofo, and he was the one, who stood the tallest from it and was still standing at the end. So give me Q for the MVP.
Okay, Omar Epps, and went on great career. Like he's still working now, still crushing it. I mean, and this is his first Quincy. The second Quincy, Love and Basketball. He plays Quincy in Love and Basketball. Like he's just one of our great actors. So shout out to Omar. Alex, who you got? MVP.
I'm gonna go with the guy who embodied the character in the film and the trajectory of his life, sad to say, became that character. I'm gonna go with Tupac. Tupac, just some of the strongest monologues, um, and the scary and one of the most eerie, scary type of characters because you knew he wasn't a threat until he got kind of quiet. Like he would go off when he was cool, he would go off. But when he was a real threat, he's like that monologue where he's like, the first time you said I was crazy, that kind of made me mad. But now that you said it again, I don't get it. It's just
Whoa.
that.
Was that your audition for Juice
No, no, no,
2?
no, no,
Like
no,
that?
no,
That's what
no,
it sounded
no,
like.
no, 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 no. This is just it's that element of he was a calm crazy. Like you knew he wasn't about nothing when he talked crap loud and got loud and talked about like when he yelled at Steel, I'm a if you don't put the 2 quarters in, I'm gonna beat that. It did and the whole game thing. It was that aspect, but when he got quiet, that was the problem. And for me, Tupac mastered that. Even in his raps, when he loud, you know, that's pop. But the more powerful part of him was when he did Brenda Had a Baby. To me, that's one of the most revolutionary
I like that.
songs
Yeah.
he ever made. But anyway,
Pac
Tupac for me
MVP.
is my MVP.
Yeah, I gotta go with Pac MVP. Just cause like if Pac lives, he's Denzel Washington. Like if you look at where his career was going, gang related, he played a whole police officer. Like he was trying to get out of the role of being Bishop. He was trying to do he did poetic justice. It was like sorry, he was doing a lot of other things. I thought he was a really good actor. And if you look at the old dogs, the doughboys, like this is that type of role, and he is so good in this. So I got to give it to Pac. He's the MVP of this. And if you leave the movie, if I got to give one Oscar to somebody, I'm giving it to Tupac. So that's my MVP. Neely, you got an LVP. They sucked, or you wanted to see more of them?
Man, probably gonna shock you again. Steel.
Not still.
Man, people bully you but that go along to get along stuff, man. Like Steele's character left a lot of meat on the bone as a guy in the crew that has just as much authority to say something but chooses not to. Raheem says something at some point. Q says something at some point. Steele might have barely said something at some point, but it's like, dog, this is 3-1. What are we doing?
Mhm.
Yeah, Jermaine Hopkins is his name. Yeah,
if you don't go. What are you gonna do?
that's fair. Like if they could have just as a crew, like Bishop, you on your own. But you know what? They remember when Bishop got hemmed up the last time and they ran away. Like they would have used that power in the beginning, they could have solved some of this. But yeah, the actor's name is Jermaine Hopkins. He's a guy from what's the movie? With
Lean on Me.
Yeah, movie from Lean on Me. But I love Seal's fit. Let me tell you, the overalls with the bucket hat. Yeah, I was in that all day.
Yeah,
I was in that all day.
Radio, like I get the character, and so like you gotta understand when I pick my guys, Q or Steel, like it's who I most identify with and who I least identify with. And again, I'm not talking about literally killing somebody. Everybody got a Bishop in them. Everybody got a Raheem in them. But most of us watching this conversation got Q in them and a hell of a lot less Steel in them. And so it's like he's that guy to be like, I just couldn't identify with. Like, dude, say something. Like, take the ass whooping, but say something.
And yeah, get a lick in, pinch him or something. Yeah,
Right. Scratch him. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you at my house, you'd have broke the vase, like he said. You broke the vase. I'm cooking for y'all. Like I'm getting in trouble, and you ain't treating me like this, man. No.
Yeah.
No. All right, Alex, you got an LVP.
I'm gonna go with Raheem, man. and not Radio Raheem. Radio Raheem would have been an MVP for me, but Raheem for me, he was the leader or he was the glue of the crew, but he gave in to Bishop too much, and he didn't really. How you gonna tell me I believe in you as a DJ, but then gonna take me on this harebrained scheme to go rob this thing? But then also think about it as, oh, that's the perfect alibi. Well, if it's the perfect alibi, leave me out of it. So all you gotta do is tell me when the police come, tell them we were there all night. That's all you gotta do, Q. We'll
Yeah,
keep you out of it.
That's it.
But no,
Bring
we
you
crew,
all.
we go down together. And it's like, no, bro. So Raheem for me,
Alex, in this situation, man, it's so easy for they could have been like, hey, Q, while you DJing, act like we in the VIP or something, shout us out, say, hey, I see my boys, I see
yeah,
at the
See,
bar chilling. It happens to be 10:05 p.m. on the dot, and I see them right there by the piano.
and that would have went on record. That would have
see,
went on record.
that's why you could have got away with it, Neely, right there. Yeah.
See, that's the part. That pisses me off about Raheem, and that's why I ain't gonna say he did his part. He did what he's supposed to been did. He's supposed to been got murked in the film. But as far as the character as a person, for him to be like he's this stand up dude in this living room argument, but he's not the stand up dude in the crew. As far as telling Bishop, hey man, we ain't with all that. Like, and that's why I think he was the first one that had to go because Bishop even that's the crazy part about Bishop. Even though Bishop knew he he would give in to him, he knew the other guys wouldn't follow it if Raheem didn't say it was cool.
Yeah.
So Bishop was kind of like a puppet master on Raheem. So for me, Raheem is my LVP.
That's fair. My LVP is Frank. And Frank is played by Eric Payne. And Frank is Cindy from Invo's husband. I thought Frank he went out bad. Like at that point, you go get your stuff and you just walk it out. You ain't like listen, I'm not doing this. Or call the police. Like you could do that. Like, or if you're feeling that bad, just call the police, have them come through. But you don't just you get your box and you leave. You don't question the young fella. Like you lost. You just take the L and you walk it off.
Yeah.
That just like nah.
Now, mind you, Lamont, let me drop 2 pennies on that because Frank is the same guy who was the car guy in School Days. He was the one that took the crew around in School Days, driving them to KFC.
Well, listen, like
Frank.
that is true, but shout out to that actor for getting with Spike and Ernest. Like, I shout out to that actor, but there's no way I would have took that role. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know this is a movie. I know this is a movie. I'll play a killer. I'll play whatever but I can't play a Frank. I just can't do that.
Right.
No. So yeah, Frank's my LVP all day in juice. So 6 man to 6 woman coming off the bench. Neely, you got anybody that did a lot with a little screen time?
The Predator.
That's fair. That's fair. Cindy, yeah.
Yeah, the Predator. But and I don't even have to dive deep into it. We've already covered it. Like she made the most of her minutes.
That's a good looking woman. That's an amazing. Like I understand, but you can't be doing that. Well, you can, but yeah, okay. Alex, you got a 6 man to 6 woman.
Brian, the little brother, Q's little brother, George Gore. He's the guy from My Wife and Kids with Damon. We saw him grow up.
Yeah,
I liked how he came in. He's like, my own little brother blackmailing me, and it's seeing that I was like, dang, that's Shorty from My Wife and Kids. So Brian for me, he came in, killed his little role, said his parts, and was pivotal. in that. So Brian for me is my six man coming off the bench.
That's fair. And I just want to shout out Q's room. Like that room with the Malcolm X poster, the way that's the way Dixon shot it from up top. You got to see the turntables where the floor, like realistically, floor the box spring on the floor. Like I like that felt really real. So like that was just a really touch of home right there. My six man, you know what? I'm gonna change it up. I'm going with Queen Latifah. Like Queen
Mm.
Latifah, strong scene. She added credibility to the DJ stuff because you know who she is and you know that she knows what a beat is. I love the part with her and Flex going back and forth, like as he's walking out. I love that they're listening to the beat, and they said like Omar really learned how to DJ in order to do this role. So like it felt a lot of realness there, and this was like Latifah was one of the ones of all the actors, all the hip hop guys. She's probably the best actor. Like I go Will Smith, Queen Latifah, and I might put Queen over Will as far as going from hip hop into acting. But she went doing these little roles like in Jungle Fever, like in Juice, and just still in these scenes. So I got to go with Latifah as my sixth woman.
Yeah, I was gonna have an honorable mention, man, that touched on that, which was just hip hop itself. Because whether it was the visualization, of Q's room, having a DJ contest as part of the movie, having a record store as part of the movie, and having all these cameos where people were literally themselves in Harlem playing, that like you said, that was Orange Juice Jones as Orange Juice Jones. Shout out to the impact that hip hop had on them.
Yeah, like and that to me, that's why it mirrors so well with Cooley High. Cause if you go think like all those Motown joints from Cooley High, and then Def Jam, the Shockey brothers did the music for this one, so you got to see like it all made sense. It was I don't know. I think the music is one of the really good co-stars in this thing. Cool.
Yeah,
So
it watching it now, it really sparked a lot of nostalgia. Like I got excited when I saw Fab Five Freddy
yeah,
walking
yeah.
across, and then saw Dr. Dre and Ed Lover up in the stands, and all these different people from hip hop that a lot of people, if you weren't a hip hop head, you'd be like, "Who's that guy?" It was a guy standing behind Queen Latifah. He had one record, and it wasn't even a hit, but he had a video that came on MTV. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was in that. So, and you had Tretch. Tretch was one of the guys with the Rodder Man. So it's like you see all these different cameos from Flavor Unit, which was like the major crew that was represented in this, from Special Ed to all these people. I'm surprised Q-Tip, we didn't see Q-Tip or the Jungle Brothers in it, but Flavor Unit was strong in that whole movie. So, yeah, Juice for me was of a better time when you actually had tangible records and tangible CDs, and nothing was streamed, and you could really enjoy stuff. So, yeah, Juice is a classic.
Cool. And I got like one more question, guys. I wanted to know because I was thinking, like, after watching Juice, I was like, okay, Cooley High influenced Juice. So what did Juice influence? So you ever see this movie called Dope? Dope with Shamik Moore, set in L.A. Same thing, but it's in Los Angeles. Same hip hop music, same drug, has a whole drug thing. Instead of the robbery, there's a drug connection going on, but they take the same formula and they just keep doing it over and over again. So I can't wait to see like what comes next. So, are there any movies that you guys think that Juice influenced?
I don't even have anybody name other than just the entire culture of it. Like it changed the way urban movies were done, such as the cameos. With people playing themselves, celebrities being in the background, or at the nightclub. You can even look at TV shows. What's the police show in New York with Malik Yoba?
New York
Uh,
Undercover. New York
yeah,
Undercover. Yeah,
every episode ended with the club and somebody that's a real performer.
yeah.
Like that whole genre of stuff is born out of Juice.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. So the way we do it full tank, half tank, fourth of a tank, no gas. Neely, what are you giving Juice?
Oh man, it's a full tank, and I got some nitrous hooked up to it. We burning.
100%, 100%. What about you, Alex?
Straight NASCAR, baby. Straight
Cool.
NASCAR. Full tank. We rolling. 500 miles at Daytona. We are killing it. Full
Well,
tank.
same with me. Full tank is a classic. It's a must watch. A must watch. So Neely, we appreciate you coming in and joining us, man. You're welcome back anytime, not just in February. So anytime you want to come through, come on. You throw a movie out, we'll definitely chop it up.
I'm gonna take you up on that challenge. We'll do.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace.
Peace.
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.